All right, I'm starting the day a little bit differently. I wanted to talk about it. I just didn't want to. I just want to get it done before we try to have fun. Florida was having some issues last week, and I don't want to talk about shootings and guns. I don't think banning guns is the issue. If you can uninvent guns, I'm down, and make it so they can never be invented. That's cool. But it's just. It goes beyond that. I don't know what kind of mentality, regardless of how it's being done, how do you kill people? And I think we're going to have a lot more to this story based on the shooter. I haven't seen anything with I've been out all day on the road. I got home just in time to see Fedor, and then I had to start getting some shit ready for the show. And we will talk about Fedor. So I don't know what the news is today, but I think that there's a lot more to this story that we haven't heard yet. From him popping up in gay bars, or that particular bar, not just gay bars. He had a gay dating app profile. You get into the terrorist aspect of it, and his dad. His dad. Oh, he didn't do this, and apparently his dad released a video like 2 days later that homosexuality is evil, and then the video disappeared. There's a lot of weird shit that's going on with it, so I don't think we're done hearing about it. I feel absolutely terrible for all the families and everyone involved. It's gotta suck. I can't imagine what it was like. They released some of the text messages that these kids, and I say kids because I'm fucking 38, that these kids were sending to their parents, and it's just like, fuck. That's fucking, it's just like, fuck, I'm gonna die. He's coming. Just fuck, man. I don't understand how that, I just don't. I can't comprehend it. So heart goes out, thoughts and prayers. I don't know how I feel about religion, so I'm just going to say thoughts and prayers and take it from there. It's just a terrible thing. Then you had the girl from The Voice who died, who got shot. You had the little boy at Disney World who got fucking pulled under by a crocodile. It's just been one shitstorm after another. So hopefully Florida it gets a little bit of fucking pressure released from them. So that's all. And now I want to move on and have some fun, but I did just want to just talk about that briefly. Rest in peace to everybody. All right, now let's start the show.
This isn't a steak. Why would you call it that on your menu?
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Just give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Wait. I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Do you understand?
Stunned fans when you said you were gay. How has this affected your relationship with your partner, David?
Well, maybe this will answer your question.
So hot in PH.
Hi. Thank you. I love you guys.
What did I tell you about using tongue?
You said you wanted it to look realistic.
Yeah, realistic, not fucking gay as shit. The only reason I put up with this homo crap is for the P-tang.
Fuck this. I got a wife and kid at home. I'm out of here.
Wait, man. What about the stuff?
What stuff?
The stuff, man. You said you'd give me the stuff.
This stuff? Oh, yeah. You'd like this whole bag of crack, wouldn't you? Well, maybe I should give it to someone else. I got Fred Savage on speed dial.
Fuck Savage! That rock is mine. Give it to me. Come on, David. Give me the stuff. Give me the sugar.
Put more money in my account.
Yeah, you got it done.
And sing at my niece's quinceañera?
All right, I'll sing.
But you can't fuck her.
I can't make that promise.
Fine.
No, all right, I won't fuck her.
Just like...
Excuse me, Neil?
Oh, this is...
I'm sorry, I can come back later.
No, we were just... No, I'm heading out. Bye-bye, sweet pea. You behave yourself, Peaches.
Always.
Oh, you guys are too cute.
I do love that handsome man.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to work with you.
Sure. Come on in.
What would you like to rehearse?
Oh, nothing specific. Just some general stuff. You just seemed a little tense out there. I thought maybe we could, loosen you up. Why don't you take your sweater off? Oh, no, for a massage. David will tell you, these hands are magical.
Well, I don't really have anything on underneath, so...
Oh, it's okay. It's just a couple girlfriends. Now take it off.
Okay.
Get your hand
feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good. I can't. Can I take this bra off? It's okay, girlfriend. That's better.
Should we do something?
I don't know. I kind of want to see what happens next.
Feels good.
Oh, it's so hard. This knot on your back is so hard. Don't be alarmed, but I'm gonna squirt some lotion on your back in about 35 seconds. Shut up.
What the fuck?
Shut up.
Oh my
Shut
God,
the
what
fuck up.
Get
Shut
the
the
fuck off of me!
Hey, you like it rough? That's cool. I can play that way.
I thought you were gay.
I am gay. Gay for that pussy.
I don't know what kind of sick game you're playing here, but if you ever touch me again, I'll fucking rip your dick off.
Give us your thoughts about your future and what you expect next as a challenge to your title.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to drink a Coors Light. That's a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me nothing. I'm going to sit out with my friends and family. And hell, I might even get on top of my wife tonight. See y'all later.
Brock Lesnar, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, ladies, man. My name's Kent Folger. Let me tell you, the last time my wife and I made love was the day I got home from the Korean War. But with this Viagra stuff, we've been going at it like dogs in heat.
Yeah, but that sounds all right to me. Now, how old are you?
Well, I'm 76, and the little lady is 80 years old.
Yeah, well, that's disgusting. No. That is not good. I'm sorry. But I must say, after all those Viagras I just took, it doesn't sound that disgusting, you know. Now, how's that 80-year-old ass on that old lady?
I don't understand. I really don't. 35 years old and you're still scared of a little thunder.
I am not.
Thunder buddies for life, right, Johnny?
Fucking right.
All right, come on, let's sing the thunder song.
All right.
When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your thunder buddy and say these magic words. Fuck you, thunder, you can suck my dick. You can't get me thunder, cause you're just God's farts.
This is how shit goes here at the Player Haters Ball. We don't fuck around.
I'm laughing at a hater, cause to me it's kinda funny. They be hating on me because I be making money. A hater ain't nothing but a broke ass nigga who I hate another nigga cause his bank account is bigger. Hatred is so unbecoming. I keep laughing at a hater while my money keep coming. Whenever I pull up in the Maybach, damn, I know they hate that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the watch. Don't hate the chain. Alligator Chuck Taylor on a player hater. All black and gray for all the Raider haters. Everybody hates Chris. If a hater wanna hate, I know they gon' hate this. I don't get mad, I sit back and I laugh. Pay a hater no mind while I'm counting that cash.
Welcome to the Inappropriate MMA Show!
Whew, what a fucking day, what a fucking week. What a fucking few weeks, because I couldn't even get a show in last week. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. It's 7:16 Eastern Time. We'll be joined by Scott Kent here in about 15 minutes from Lion Fight. And then we've got some shit to talk about. I'll start with this because there's a couple things I guess I can probably get in before Mr. Kent calls in. First of all, let's just talk about what we just watched. Okay, I need some water. Hold on. Time out. Okay, Fedor. I got home literally just in time for Fedor. Sat down, opened up the computer, turned it on, and no, I'm sorry, I take that back. There was one fight before, but I didn't watch it. Went and took a shower and all that shit. So I've had a big problem with all the Fedor talk, I guess, over the years. I have a buddy up in Virginia, where I'm from, and we go back a long time. We'll text each other, "fuck you," and everything's fine. That's just kind of how we roll. He basically swings off of, or at least he used to. He doesn't follow fights anymore, but he used to when he did. So he would swing off of Fedor's nuts, and I've always thought, to an extent, there's a couple things. One, to me, to an extent, he's a little bit overrated. Okay? The other aspect of it, though, is the reason he's overrated to me is, one, when have you seen him win anywhere but overseas? Japan or Russia? Has he won anywhere else? That's kind of odd, don't you think? Two, the Yakuza aspect. We all know the Yakuza ran Pride. That's a well-known fact. They were totally involved. Some fighters have talked about being offered money. I think some have talked about taking money for dives and things like that. So, to me, that causes a bit of a problem too. And I'm not saying Fedor isn't great. Alright, he is. I'm just saying, I'm not sure I think he's as great as everyone else thinks he is. Here's the thing, okay? He eked out a win from Fabio, over Fabio Maldonado. Everyone expected him to win that fight, but he almost didn't. The first round, I don't know what the hell made the ref not stop that fight in the first round. I don't know what kind of damage Fedor took either, because he got fucked up. Some people were saying 10-8, 10-7. I think it was easily a 10-9. I'm not sure if I go 10-8 because Fedor was tagging him, but you know what? That was only at the beginning. Everything changed after Fabio did it, so maybe I could pull that a 10-8. Two judges gave it a 10-8. Two judges had it scored a draw. And one judge... no, I take that back. One judge had it scored a draw. Two judges had it scored for Fedor. A lot of people were on Twitter saying, "Oh, Fedor didn't win. He didn't deserve that win." Well, okay. I don't know if it was rigged or not, but certainly something changed after the first and second round. Did Fabio Maldonado gasses? I don't think Fabio Maldonado gasses. He just kind of goes. He'll look like he's gassed, and then boom, he's not gassed. Unless he's got like 20 wins, W-I-N-D-S. I just don't see that he's gassing. Theory, everyone's family was in jeopardy from the mafia for Fedor to win, because there's a lot of money if Fedor wins. And I don't even know what kind of mafia it was. It could have been Lorenzo and the boys. I don't know. It's just a theory. But the fact of the matter is, even the announcer, who I love, that guy needs... I want to watch him more. He was fucking great. I only saw him on the Fedor fight, but holy fuck. That guy was fucking great. But even he was saying, "I don't know why Fabio isn't fighting back." Yeah, I don't know why Fabio isn't fighting back either, because he kind of just stopped. I don't think he gassed. It was just a weird thing to see happen. I don't know if it was a work or not, but it certainly seemed like one. So Fedor, yeah, and like I said, a lot of people were saying that Fedor didn't win, Fabio won. I don't think I saw it that way. I gave Fedor 2 rounds. I gave Fabio 1. I think a draw would have been okay. I'd like to see that first round again to determine. I just don't remember it. And I was watching that shit because I was surprised. I was watching that first exchange from Fedor, and then everything looked like it was hitting his hands. Oh, and you know what? Let's talk about that ref. The ref who just out of nowhere, when Fedor's getting beat to shit, comes in, stops Fabio Maldonado from beating the shit out of Fedor. He was up on the cage, takes his mouth guard out and walks away. Like, what the fuck are you doing? some weird shit. So yeah, and that to me just adds to the suspect. But yeah, I don't know. Fedor said on Ariel he's closer than ever to signing with the UFC. I don't really want to see him fight in the UFC. I want to see him retire. I mean, he's just way going past when he should be. In the UFC, I can't think of anybody in the heavyweight division that shouldn't anyway, solidly beat him. I don't think that Fedor would have a good chance against anybody. He would have a puncher's chance. If he tags you, and it would be more than a punch because he's more of a multiple punch guy. If he tags you with those punches, you could have a problem because he's really just, he just goes. I don't think he's just go. It's like when you do a bunch of round kicks with the same foot, quickly, boom, 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 boom. You can't just stop. You got to slow down first. I think that's where Fedor is. If he catches you with one of those, you got a problem. Because he's a strong puncher, but other than that, I don't see him beating anybody. I'd rather see him, and I've said this before, I'd rather see him go down to 205. I don't think he's got anything for the elite people, the elite fighters. I just don't think it's there. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll carry over in the UFC. Maybe he won't. I don't know. I know I don't think he should. I don't think it's a good idea for him. I think it could be bad. So that was today. Let me jump back 2 weeks ago. Let me go over a couple things because I can get through Garbrandt Almeida card real quick here too. Adam Milstead beat Chris De La Rocha. I did not see the undercards, but I did see Caraway and Sterling. That was a fun fight. That was a fun fight. Did that win? No, it didn't. But yeah, Caraway won that one. It was a split decision. I don't really like Aljamain Sterling. I thought Caraway won. I don't know if I'm biased or not, but Eric Koch beat Shane Campbell. Jake Collier beat, I guess I should say, decision by rear naked choke. Jake Collier beat Alberto Uda. TKO, knees and a body kick. Abel Trujillo beat Jordan Rinaldi. Decision. Sarah McMahon decision. Jessica I did not see that fight being that one-sided. That was surprising to me. That was surprising. Paul Felder beat Joshua Berkman. He's listed on Wikipedia now. He's gone up in status. Lawrence Larkin split decision. Jorge Masvidal. Chris Camozzi decision. Vitor Miranda. Rick Story, unanimous decision, Tarek Safadine. Yeah, that one, I expected Safadine to... he did fuck his leg up. But yeah, I don't know. Every time I feel like Tarek Safadine is on the right path, it kind of jumps back. Jeremy Stevens, decision, Heenan Barao. I was okay with that one. And Cody Garbrandt knocked the fuck out of Thomas Almeida. That was something, man. I feel like I don't even remember knowing who Cody Garbrandt was like a year and a half ago. And granted, it's a bantamweight division. It's not a super duper deep division, but he's come a long way. So I would imagine he'll be looking at a title shot here soon. But yeah, it was a decent night. I was playing games and shit, man. I was climbing and having a game night and a birthday celebration for a friend. And we were just fucking around and having some fun. So I caught him. That was Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, I caught him on. Yeah, that was the Sunday night. That's right. I caught him on Monday. That's like the one Sunday I could have stayed up to watch the fights, and I was out. Damn it, son of a whore. All right, let's see here. I'll talk about this briefly here too. We'll come back to Muhammad Ali. I do have a clip for him. Kimbo died too. Kind of sucks. Say what you want about his fighting. I still think he was a decent boxer. Say what you want about his fighting, though. He was a pretty good dude. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about him. He he seemed to be very big on his family and his kids. When I say big, just like loved them to death. I didn't mean that in a bad way. Poor choice of words. But yeah, it was really kind of sad. So, you know, he had a heart condition. So, you know, there were rumors about his medical papers were forged before his fight with Dada. The whole thing was weird. He got popped for steroids. Then he had a fight coming up next month with James Thompson, and I don't know how he's doing that when he's been suspended by the athletic commission. I guess he just doesn't really give a fuck because, you know, he's getting. It's not like he wasn't young for the fight game, and he wound up going into heart failure, and was going to be transported to a different hospital, I think in a different state, for a heart transplant that they found out that he needed, and then he died. So, you know, the whole thing just kind of sucks. I remember, what's his name, the Black Beast, I can't think of his name, Derek Lewis. He was at that Kimbo Dada fight, and I remember he tweeted that video of Kimbo, like, he looked rough. He was, like, being rushed out. He might have had an oxygen mask or something. After that fight, he was in bad shape then. But he just, you know, even if you go back and watch his backyard fights, which, yeah, they're brutal. But when you watch them, he never went too far. He always stopped. He always gave the person a chance to stop. You know, if the guy got rocked or fucked up, he would be like, you know, you all right? And then, you know, like sometimes the guys are like, no, I'm done. Sometimes they're like, yeah, let's keep going. And he'd have to go in and hit him again. But he always went to check on him. I always thought that was pretty cool. Even before I really knew, you know, who he was in the mixed martial arts world, when he was just the Kimbo, the street fighter. I just always thought it was cool. It was very, I don't know, professional, I guess, to me. So, yeah, R.I.P. to Kimbo. Yeah, just kind of sucks. I don't think he should have still been fighting, but that's, you know, that's not my call. That's his call and the doctor's call. That Houston Athletic Commission, though, I remember they have done some weird shit. They did some weird shit with the UFC too. I can't remember specifically what it was, but it was one of those. It was just some weird shit. So I don't know. They might be a bit suspect in Texas. Hey, where you going? Don't you start barking. I'm watching you. So yeah, it sucks. And we'll talk about Muhammad Ali because I do have a clip of him pulled. And if you haven't seen it, I'll tell you this too. First of all, I didn't know Kevin Casey was Muhammad Ali's son-in-law. That was crazy. And he fought that Saturday night. Muhammad Ali died on, Thursday, Friday overnight? And Kevin Casey fought on Saturday and won. We'll talk. Or no, that was a draw, wasn't it? We'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, Muhammad Ali. If you haven't seen it, go on look up the video where Muhammad Ali kind of Muhammad Ali goofs on kids or pranks. That's what it is. Pranks kids. Granted, I work with kids. I teach kids. It's fucking fun. So I might be a little bit biased just from experience, but that was just a fun video. Just watching their kids' faces. You know, they're basically talking shit about them. Some of them are, and then Muhammad Ali comes up, and their faces are like holy shit. Except they can't say holy shit because, you know, they're like 9. But yeah, it was a pretty neat video. So go check that out. I'm kind of just bantering a little bit until Scott Kent calls. Let's scroll down. You know what? Let's see here. Lion fight. What number is this coming up? Let me see here. Lion fight promotions. I'm sorry about my throat. I still have a little bit phlegm. Just a hair. That's been pretty good up until now. Like, I was fine all day. And then I fucking start the show and boom. Now I gotta clear my throat 8,000 times. So Lion Fight 30 is coming up on July 8th. And I think we're gonna have someone from that fight card on the week before. Because I'll do a show that right before July 4th, and we'll cover all the fights coming up. But yeah, let's see. What do we have on here? Do we have a fight card? No fight card, but we will see Sergio Wilson, Kai Hollenbeck, and Antonina Shevchenko. As I said before, I don't get Access TV. I wish I did. I used to get it when it was HDNet, and then all the shit. Time Warner's. Hold on, Mr. Kent's calling. Mr. Kent.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty well. I was just talking about the fight you got coming up in a couple weeks and kind of going. I think Scott and I were talking about having someone else on that week before. So I was just talking about who was on that card from what I can see anyway on your website.
Super.
So I was also just talking. I told Scott. I told this to him before. I was just going over. I don't get Access TV. I used to get it when it was HDNet, and it kind of sucks because there were some really good fights on there. And now, fights, and you get Bas Rutten every week. How can you go wrong? But I miss those fights, and I was saying I hope with Time Warner merging with whoever they've merged with and coming out with this new Spectrum company, maybe I'll get access back and I can watch fights again, and it'll be good, happy Friday nights for me.
Yeah. They've got, they got some really good Friday night fights. They've got some good promotions. And, we're thrilled being the only Muay Thai promotion out there that, we get to kind of showcase why our sport is so much different than the others. And so far it's been really successful.
Yeah. Are you guys doing well on there?
Yeah, we're doing very well. I think part of our challenge was to kind of showcase the differences between, first of all, tell people what Muay Thai is. It sounds foreign, and how does that compare and contrast with the UFC and mixed martial arts or Dutch kickboxing? And, we kind of tried to focus on that educational aspect of it, for those folks that don't understand what it is.
And that's good, because even people who think they understand, I've been in martial arts since I was 6. And I was just thinking, earlier today how cool it is. When I was a kid, we didn't have martial arts everywhere. We used to have to spend like $60 to get Bill Wallace tapes, or hundreds of dollars to get tapes from other countries to see things. And now it's all over.
Right.
And I think it's pretty cool that all these different things are out there for people to see. But I was getting to the point where a lot of UFC fans that don't really understand things think they do. So I think it's important to kind of go over those rules so maybe they can learn some. And I'm not talking about the casual fan. I'm talking about the diehard fans who think they know everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it really helps us. Pat Miletich is one of our commentators. And for a UFC Hall of Famer to come out and say, he'd much rather watch lion fight Muay Thai than the UFC. And, when we bring in one of these world-class stand-up fighters from Thailand or for Europe, he said, you just know the difference between even a UFC fighter. The stand-up is just so much better for a Muay Thai fighter, and especially the guys from Thailand that have been fighting since they're, 6, 7 years old, and it's their national sport, and they get it, and MMA attracts a lot of wrestlers and guys in jiu-jitsu, guys that have a great ground game. But there's just an exponential difference in stand-up fighting.
Yeah, it takes time. I think even with Holly Holm, coming from her background, kickboxing background, she didn't just say, "Hey, I'm going to go fight mixed martial arts." She'd been training for years with Craig Jackson on her grappling and things like that. It wasn't just a boom. I'm going to do this now. It's like with all the talk about Conor and Floyd, it won't work. You can't have one just boom crossover because it just you got to train in the other aspects of it. So yeah, it's I get it.
Yep, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think we have a lot of folks in Muay Thai that see, maybe there's some more money doing MMA, and if they've had some success in Muay Thai, that's great. But you don't have a ground game. And there's girls that have been out or guys that have been out for the last 3 or 4 years doing nothing but ground and jiu-jitsu. So, if you can't knock the person out and you can't avoid getting taken down, you've got a pretty short shelf life, I think.
And you always find that anomaly, like a Roy Nelson, who's a jiu-jitsu guy and just said, oh, I can knock people out. I'll do this instead. There might be one of those out there. Hey, I can understand jiu-jitsu really well. I don't. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 8 years, and I still barely understand it.
Well, and I don't think it's, again, you're probably right. It's a very technical sport, and the people that are really into it are really into it. Unfortunately, the vast majority of fight fans aren't really, really into it. And I know it's been our experience. And, I would say 80% of the fans that we get are people that aren't aficionados of wrestling or jiu-jitsu and really want to see stand-up fighting. And when you even compare and contrast Muay Thai with traditional kickboxing, where you can't use the elbows, you can't knee in the clinch. That's such an important part of a fighter's arsenal. And I hearken back to not long ago, and can you imagine mixed martial arts now without elbows? Because everybody's training in elbows. So I think that's another advantage that Muay Thai has over traditional Dutch kickboxing.
Yeah. So how did you get into Muay Thai? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm going to start a Muay Thai promotion? How did that happen?
Well, I've been in the casino business for over 20 years, and I've always been fairly athletic. I started in Taekwondo, and I started with kickboxing, and then it just kind of morphed into, I kind of gravitated towards the more aggressive fighting style. And then I had the opportunity to train in Thailand, and I think that was a game changer for me. And I got to that point in my life where I'd done everything I really could in the casino business, rounded up a couple of investors, and a lot of us talked about it and just felt that this is a sport that really needs, a national showcase. We need to get it on TV. We think it's got a huge upside. And I started with Christine Toledo about 5.5 years ago, and we got on TV. We got on Access a couple of years ago, and I think that's made a huge difference for us. We're doing fights all over the country. I was in London last week. We're working with a Muay Thai Grand Prix in London. So the Lion Fight brand is doing very well in Europe and Australia as well.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. I think you were talking about it earlier. I think it's nice to see the traditional Muay Thai aspect of kickboxing, because even when I was a kid, it was either Bill Wallace or my instructor. I like I said, I've been doing Taekwondo since I was 6, so for 32 years. And he's a Korean guy, but he loved the Muay Thai striking. And those are the only two people he would really reference, in his broken English as far as striking goes. And that's what I kind of grew up kind of watching was that. And I remember when Kickboxer came out, and I was so excited when that came out, because I was like, oh, we get to see a Muay Thai stuff now. It's not just regular American kickboxing. Yeah! I love that movie. That was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
Yeah, and now with the other nuance, which I think is different, is that it is a traditional martial art. It's the national sport of Thailand. It's been around for centuries, and you're bringing all of that tradition along with it. So I think there's a lot more respect among the fighters. You won't see the kind of the overt grandstanding and condescension that you see probably in some other sports. It's a very respectful sport, and I think that really translates to our audience.
Excuse me, I'm sorry about the throat clearing. Everything was fine all day, and then about 10 minutes ago, I started getting a little phlegmy. I was like, "What in the world?" So I apologize for that.
Not a problem.
Yeah, it's driving me batty though. So do you still train?
Yeah, I do. I still train, not as often as I'd like to now. We're so busy with Lion Fight. I still try and lift and do some cardio. Have people hold pads for me from time to time. But yeah, I still try and stay involved with it, you bet.
So if people were to go on on YouTube and look up a couple things, what are some of your favorite fights? Because quite frankly, I'm writing this down because I was gonna watch them later.
Right. Well, I think God, we've had so many amazing fights. Highlight reels, Yodson Cly. I love that guy. He's fought for us a number of times. When he fought Chike Lindsay, it was a great fight. Joe Nadawat's had some great fights for us as well. You just go right down the list. Gaston Bolanos, one of the young rising stars in American Muay Thai, known for a spinning back elbow. Those are always exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We just go right down the list.
Unless you're on the receiving end.
Yeah, Chris Cyborg fighting Jarena Bars. Nobody gave Jarena a chance. And, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Yeah.
I forgot. I saw that. I went to a friend's house just to watch that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, here's another. Chris was the baddest woman on the planet, and she stepped in against this, 24-year-old Dutch girl, and nobody gave her a chance. And it came down to technique, and it came down to her being able to control the distance. And, that was one of the defining fights, I think, the Lion fight that really opened people's eyes.
Yeah, and I totally, because I had to go to a friend's house. A friend of mine saw it, and he DVR'd it, and he's like, you got to come over and watch this. I was like, okay. So I went over there later on, and that was something. Damn it, I wish I got this channel. Pisses me off. I got to look into the Spectrum thing and see if they're going to make this happen. I want my access back. All right, so yeah, I'm going to look that. So we got Janssen Cly, Cheeky, wait, I might have scribbled his last name. Cheeky who?
Lindsay,
there we go. Joe Navats and Gascon Valenos.
Yep, all of those guys. Jarena Bars and Cyborg is it's a classic fight for us.
Yep.
Even our last card we did a card a month ago. And Joe Nadawat got knocked out by Reagan Ursel. I think we had 6 fights and 5 knockouts.
Yeah, I saw that. I was out that night, and before I went home, I was like, "Hey, can I turn on Access TV real quick?" Because we had interviewed. Oh gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Holy cow! It's like right there. He lost in the second round. I'm looking right at his face. I'm really bad with names. You should see me when I teach, and I can't remember my kids' names.
Was it Julio Pena?
Yes, thank you. All I could think of was I was going with the D for the Don. Yeah, Julio Pena. So I went out of my way to watch that one. I don't think people were thrilled that I was messing with the TV channels, but I didn't care. And I was like, dang it. But yeah, that was another, though. That was an exciting finish, exciting fight. Even though I was kind of pulling for him to win because I just talked to him a couple weeks earlier, it was still an exciting fight. So you got a good product. I hope I get access back. Everyone else, you get access. You should be watching this stuff. It's a great channel for MMA fans. I remember when UFC was trying to say Spike was the best channel for MMA, and I was like, no, I still kind of think, back then it was HDNet, but I was like, I still kind of think HDNet is the best thing for MMA fans. I think it has more and better product than the UFC did, or than Spike did. And I think I still hold true to that. I think it's still the best MMA channel there is, and that covers everything.
Yeah, no, I agree. Spike has Bellator now, but I've not been impressed with the last few Bellator shows for obvious reasons. I don't think anybody has been. And, even Fight Pass, which only has, 45,000 subscribers, Access TV's broadcast over 46 million homes in North America. So it's got a much wider reach than even the UFC Fight Pass.
And to me, some of these fights, and I can see it on the kickboxing side too, and I think that may be money driven. Some of these MMA fights, anyways, and I'll get to the kickboxing part and money driven part in a second. But some of these MMA guys on these smaller fight shows, they go crazy because they don't have as much at risk. When they get into the UFC and start fighting on these bigger cards, you have a lot more to lose. Some of the fights, I mean, we've all seen them, just aren't as exciting. You don't see the non-exciting fights as much in the smaller promotions. And the same goes, I think, for kickboxing, because these guys, I would imagine you're not paying them. I don't know, what you pay these guys, but I would imagine you're not paying them 90 and 90 for, show and win money and things like that. So I don't think they look at it as like, holy crap, I have to win, or I'm not going to get $8 billion bonus, backroom bonus. I want to win, and I want to knock the guy out, because that's what we're here to do. So I just think it's driven a little differently, and that, to me, I think is what makes it more exciting.
Yeah, and I think Muay Thai is one of those sports where, you're not going to go in and do it half-assed. I mean, if you want to fight and you want the most violent type of fighting, you take up Muay Thai, and, it's a brutal sport. And it's, I think not only for most of our fighters, but even for our promotion, we understand going into this that, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And for us to be successful financially, we need to build a brand. I mean, it took the UFC 13 years to build their brand before they made a penny. So we've had to, make that commitment. We wanted fighters that want to be Muay Thai fighters. If you want to fight MMA, God bless you, go fight for an MMA promotion. Yeah. I'm not going to spend my time and money and television time promoting you if you just want to build your name so you can go fight on another promotion. We don't look at ourselves as a developmental league for the UFC or anybody else. It's a different sport, and outside of the U.S. and a lot of countries, Muay Thai is even much more popular than MMA. So, that's kind of been our business model.
Yeah, and I think it's working pretty well for you.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Kent, I don't want to keep you too long, because I do sometimes tend to ramble. Is there anything you want to get out there? You want to talk about the fight card coming up on the 8th?
We're going to have, I think it's going to be on the heels of one of our most exciting fight cards, that we had on Lion Fight 29. We had 6 pro fights. We had 5 knockouts. Kai Hollenbeck, the main event, fighting Mark Holst. Both these guys are forward-moving guys. This is going to be a train wreck. The co-main event, I just saw Paul Barber fight last week in London. He's coming. He's going to try and take the title from Sergio Welton, who's cut onion topics in the last fight. That's going to be a great fight. And one of the things Lion Fight is known for is from the first televised fight till the end one. We rarely have decisions. We always have great fights. And when we match our fights, we kind of emphasize on aggressive style, because we know that's what the American audience wants to see. So, if you haven't seen Muay Thai, you haven't seen Lion Fight, make sure you tune in on July 8th on Access TV.
Yeah, definitely do. If it's anything like the ones that I saw last time, and I did see a couple of them just because I was able to manipulate the controller, that was good, fun stuff. So definitely check it out. And we'll be talking about it before it's on. It airs anyway. But yeah, Mr. Kent, I appreciate you coming on. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know.
I appreciate your support. Thank you.
You have a great rest of the day.
All right, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. See, I can sound professional and shit. Look at that. Look at that. I need to do some climbing, though. Yeah, seriously, Lion Fight, the bit that I saw and a little bit that I saw, because I went and watched a couple of those Don Julio fights after I found out who, that I was interviewing him. There was, there's some fun shit. It's if you like active striking fights, you're check it out. So yeah, that's coming up on July 8th. That's a busy fucking weekend, isn't it? That's Friday night. There's UFC fights, DVR or something, and watch one of them later. There's ways to work around things, or do what I do. You know what I've done when there's multiple fights? Because usually when there's fights on, I'm playing PlayStation anyway. I just get the other computer. Boom. I got one fight on one computer, one fight on another computer. I'm good with that. And I got like Battlefield or Grand Theft Auto on my TV. It works perfectly. You don't fucking need to do all that shit on the TV. I just DVR it and I can watch the ones I want to watch later. So yeah, check it out, man. They're good. All right, now I'm gonna keep going in not numerical order, but in date order. I can't think of the one I'm looking for, but in date order. So we had UFC 88. I'm sure there was some stuff that I didn't keep up with that week, just little things, and oh well, they're not going to be discussed because I didn't keep up with it. But then we get to UFC 199. Okay? Oh no, hold on. Let's backtrack. Muhammad Ali. That's right. That's why I was kind of talking about him right before Mr. Kent called in. So we got Muhammad Ali, and he died, and it sucked. I was really bummed out about it. Excuse me. My dad, I think I actually have talked about this before. I thought my dad fought Muhammad Ali. My dad did like 2 or 3 amateur boxing matches. And he had a poster on his gym. He had a little home gym. He had a poster in his gym. Where's Skype? I want to close Skype. Where the hell is Skype? Oh, here it is. Quit. Okay, Skype's gone. He had a poster in his gym of Muhammad Ali punching somebody, a white guy. His hair was going crazy and sweat was going off. And you know what? That's what my dad would have looked like if he was getting hit. All you saw was the back of the white guy. You didn't see the front. And I always thought that was my dad. So for years, for like 5-6 years maybe, I thought my dad fought Muhammad Ali. But yeah, I mean, I grew up on boxing. So I grew up, of course, thinking Muhammad Ali was the best, and he was. He took it to a different level. I think he basically, I think he stole it from wrestling. It was like a Gorgeous George or something. That whole "I'm so pretty" thing, I think, came from watching professional wrestling. He knew how to sell things. I don't think he was really a dick. I think he just knew how to be in character. Could I be wrong? Sure. But I don't think he was. I think he was probably a very humble guy. I didn't pay attention to press conferences and things like that. Well, I really wasn't watching a lot of boxing when Muhammad Ali was fighting anyway, because I was too young. Actually, I don't even know if I was born. When was Muhammad Ali's last fight? He fought a couple times in the late 70s. Muhammad Ali. Hold on, I'm curious about this now. Because I feel like he might even fought once or twice in the 80s. Let's see. Yeah, 1981, 1980. He lost to Larry Holmes in 1980. I was 3 when he lost to Larry Holmes. And I was 4 when he lost to Trevor Berbick. So if I saw him fight, I don't fucking remember it. So I don't know what he was like after he lost. If he was like Chael, if he was like Conor, and he was humble in the defeat, and then boom, when it was time to get back into character, he was back into character. I don't know. I just imagine that he was. But yeah, so and my dad met him once, and this is a story my dad's always liked to tell. My dad's in great shape. Maybe I'll post a picture of him one day. He's 80. What is this? This is 2016. So he's 82 years old. He looks like he's about 65. Very fit. Puts me to shame because I'm a big fat mess. Yeah, that's my dad. Well, when he met Muhammad Ali, let's see, he was 40. So this was 40 years ago, 1986. Was it? No, 1976. I wasn't born yet. And Muhammad Ali asked him when he met him for a book signing. He said, "How old are you?" And my dad said, 42. And Muhammad Ali said, 42. 42. Boy, I wish I looked that good when I'm 42. So that was my dad's like favorite Muhammad Ali story. Maybe the only one as far as I know, but that's the only one I've ever heard anyway. So yeah, it sucked. And like I said earlier, check out that one. And then this is just a clip that I was just kind of looking for a clip, and I'd seen this one before, so I went with it. But here's a little YouTube clip.
Who knocks out everybody and no one can whoop him. That's when that little Cassius Clay from Louisville, Kentucky came up and stopped Sonny Liston, the man who annihilated Floyd Patterson twice. He was going to kill me. But he hit harder than George. His reach is longer than George. He's a better boxer than George. And I'm better now than I was when you saw that 22-year-old undeveloped kid running from Sunday Lister. I'm experienced now, professional. Jaw's been broke, been knocked down a couple of times. Bad. Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Man, dude.
Bad.
Ain't no doubt.
Fast. Last night, I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark.
Incredible.
Fast.
Incredible.
And you, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Now I want to go back and just watch a whole bunch of Muhammad Ali shit. And I may do that. That might happen. So yeah, sucks that he's dead. Everyone did really nice tributes, I think. And then, boom, we get to 199. Okay. First of all, holy fuck. What a fucking card. That was just phenomenal. I'm sure I'm going to have happy thoughts as I'm going through these fights, because that was just wow. So much wow. We'll start off with what to me is an easy fight of the year contender. Marco Polo Reyes defeats Dong Hyun Kim. That's the Maestro Dong Hyun Kim, not the Korean stun gun Dong Hyun Kim. By KO in the third round. Fucking A. If you didn't watch that fight, and you know what? I bet Diver didn't watch it. Monocles did. But I should text him, because Diver just texted me. I texted, we have a message group that we, just us, and it's just fight shit, for the most part. And I texted him, I said, this Fedor fight doesn't work. Now, I'd sent a Fedor video earlier, and something about the Fedor fight coming up earlier in the week. So he texted me back just now, what the hell, are the fights known now? When did Fedor fight? Fucking Diver. Let me see here. I bet Diver didn't watch that first fight from 199 on Fight Pass. Get on Skype talking about 199 now. Let's see what he does. He wasn't doing anything earlier, but I think I was starting too early. He had to go to dinner. I don't know what he's doing now. We'll see. But yeah, man, that fucking fight, that was crazy. That was fucking nuts. It was just so back and forth in there, so fucking hurt. And obviously, Dong Hyun Kim was, for the most part, coming up on the rough end of that shit. But he would just pop up with some crazy shit and fucking almost knock out Marco Polo Reyes. It was just fucking great. Then we get to Kevin Casey. Yeah, it was a split draw with Elvis Mutapchik. I didn't realize until that night that Kevin Casey was Muhammad Ali's son-in-law. So I can't imagine what the hell was going on in his head. I like Kevin Casey. I want him to get on the winning track and do well. But yeah, it was one judge had it 28-28, one had it 29-28, and one had it 28-29. Luis, because that's how split draws work. Luis Enrique da Silva, TKO Jonathan Wilson. I don't remember it, but I really don't remember a bad fight on this card. Sean Strickland, split decision, Tom Breeze. Alex Caceres beat the living shit out of Cole Miller. I was expecting a little more from that. I don't know if Cole Miller fell flat or if Alex Caceres has been rejuvenated, because he was on point. I don't think Cole Miller did too much in that fight. Alex Caceres just looked really good. Jessica Andrade got the shit beat. Or no, Jessica Andrade beat the shit out of Jessica Penne. I don't know how many concussions Jessica Penne's had in her last two fights. I think it was the last two. Didn't she just fight? Isn't she coming off of that loss to Joanna, where Joanna beat the ever-loving shit out of her? Yep, that was. So she took almost a year off which is a good thing. I hope it wasn't because of an injury or some shit. I hope she just took a year off. She might want to take another year off because she took some fucking punishment. Beneil Dariush knocked out James Vick, which was just on my TV, and then with a punch. And Brian Ortega KO'd Clay Guida with knees. This fight I did not see. I don't remember what was going on. I might have been in the shower. So I actually might pay a little bit of attention to this one because I didn't see it. Do you remember when Clay Guida, like, you would hear Clay Guida was fighting and be like, oh shit, Clay Guida's fighting. We gotta watch this. Like, remember when the first Fox fight, Kane versus Junior Dos Santos? Who did Clay Guida fight on that we didn't get to see because it was on? I mean, we got to see it on like Fight Pass, but we didn't get to see it on TV, and everyone was pissed because it was a really good fucking fight. Where is that? UFC on Fox. Here we go. Benson Henderson. Go down. Yeah, that was a fight of the night. It was on Facebook, so it wasn't even, that's what Wikipedia says. I thought it would have been on, well, you know what? I guess Fight Pass wasn't around back then, was it? That's right. Okay, so yeah, Facebook it was. Yeah, that was, it's just, but back then it was, oh, Clay Guida's fighting, we gotta watch. What the fuck happened to him? I don't know if it was Greg Jackson or what, but something happened to him where he's fallen flat a little bit. He still moves around a lot, but he just doesn't have that go get him attitude anymore. So I don't know, maybe this fight he does, I haven't seen it. Alright, let's see here. But yeah, Brian Ortega KO Clay Guida with knees. Then we get to the main card. Dustin Poirier, who looked really good in that, 2 minutes? 3 minutes, 2:53. KO's Bobby Green. Dan Henderson. Holy fucking hell. First of all, I don't think he should be fighting anymore. Okay, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. Okay, but we'll get to that. Secondly, I don't know how the hell he got out of the first round. Thirdly, holy fuck, did he knock the fuck out of Hector Lombard? That was just like, wow, that was something. That was something to watch. I just don't want him to get hurt. I don't like these old guys getting in there. Fedor, man, he how much punishment has he taken in his career? I mean, shit, that's how Fedor fights. He kind of gets his ass beat, and then he comes up with, like, some crazy submission. Yeah, maybe just stop. You don't need the fight in the UFC. You just don't. You're going to get hurt. But yeah, Dan Henderson knocked the fuck out of Hector Lombard with what might be, maybe they said this, I don't know, that might be his first, like, head kick ever. I didn't know he could kick above the groin. I just kind of figured he was like my dad. Max Holloway, decision Ricardo Lamas. That was fun. Dominic Cruz, decision Uriah Faber. So I am going to watch this again when it's on Fight Pass. Because Fight Pass doesn't let you fucking save these pay-per-views that you spent money on, which is really fucking stupid. If you pay for Fight Pass and you're paying for the pay-per-view, you should at least get to, if you buy it, just fucking keep it until it's out. That's fucking ridiculous. But whatever. I want to see that fight again because I'm starting. I never really watched Dominic Cruz much in WEC because I didn't watch Wednesday night fights. I got shit to do, man. It's just, it doesn't work for me. It still doesn't work for me. I don't really watch Sunday night fights live. I got to go to bed. I got shit to do. So I think I saw the first Cruz. The second Cruz Faber fight. Which I saw live, but I don't remember much about it live. I did watch it again before 199, and I've seen his, 2 other fights in the UFC, so it's not like I've seen him a lot, but holy fuck, he's a tough fucking puzzle to figure out. I'm really starting to enjoy watching Dominic Cruz fight. I don't particularly like him, because he's kind of a dick, kind of a little bit smug, but man, he can fucking fight. So yeah, he decisioned Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber, I don't know. He kind of made it sound like maybe he was retiring. I don't know. I was really pulling for him, just because I think it would be good to kind of close his chapter if he got a championship. I don't know. He could still make money fighting Conor at 155, which the UFC would do because they do have a history from The Ultimate Fighter, so they can find clips of them bitching and bantering and shit like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Hold on. I was looking for. I got a clip before the next one. Okay, I'm good. So then let's get to the main event. Michael Bisping knocks out Luke Rockhold. Now, Luke Rockhold's another smug fucker. I don't like Luke Rockhold either. I enjoy the banter that he has with Bisping when they're building up to their fight, but I don't like him. I think he's a dick. He said, and this isn't speculation, he said he didn't respect Bisping. And it showed. And Bisping, and it's kind of true, he never really respected anybody. He doesn't have a big thing for like, ooh, this opponent's going to hurt me. He thinks he's just going to roll through everybody. And, he's talking about, when I was injured and shit like that. Well, you know what? Your whole fucking team gets injured, so maybe everybody there needs to relax. Just relax. Now, of course, Bisping was just precise as shit. I was really happy for him, and I don't even like Bisping. Bisping's kind of a dick too. We're gonna get to that. Bisping's kind of a dick too. But I was happy for him. It's one of those things where even though the fight doesn't make too much sense, because Jacare made more sense, but if he was out with a knee injury and getting surgery, then he was out. I was okay with Bisping getting this, and I was happy for him. Now, after the fight, this is what was said between Bisping and Rockhold. This is in the cage. This is off of the preview for UFC's Thrill and Agony.
Michael Bisping is the new UFC middleweight champion of the world!
Here's Rockhold's corner. Up, they're showing Rockhold's family. Bisping kissing his wife. I thought it was the whole thing. Apparently not.
I love you guys. Go ahead. I love you so much.
Unlucky, buddy. Unlucky, good fight. I told you, got lucky, good job. He goes to shake his hand. He says, I shook your hand. And then Bisping says, you're in the octagon, by the way. It's okay, you'll come too. Kind of a dick thing to say. It just kind of is. Well, let's listen to this part.
Undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael.
I wonder if him and Cormier are still friends. Alright, get rid of that. I'm curious to see what that show's all about, and I'm guessing it's just going to be behind-the-scenes stuff, but I'll watch it. So yeah, Bisping was kind of a dick. Then he was at the presser, and if you haven't heard the presser, I usually listen to him, but if you haven't heard it or watched it or whatever you do, you should. It was just, the post-fight presser was just as fucking entertaining as the pre-fight presser. You had death threats of Luke Rockhold saying he's going to kill Bisping. You had back and forth with that. You had Faber, and even Faber and Cruz were going back and forth some more. And it was just like, holy shit. Now, before we get into the aftermath of 199 and what's next for Bisping, and I don't know what the fuck is next for Cruz. Actually, I think I heard what might be next, and I don't remember what it is. But let's talk about Ariel real quick. So, also at UFC 199, which I didn't even see this preview because I was taking my dog out to pee, they ran a preview for UFC 200. And I was also gone all day Saturday. What the fuck was I doing? I forgot what I was doing, but I was doing something. So, I didn't see anything on Twitter. I was just out of the loop. I come back and I see a story from Kevin Iole talking about Brock Lesnar coming back at 200 and who he might fight. And I was like, well, shit, if Kevin Iole is saying something, there's something to it. And I read the article and I might have retweeted it. I sent it to Monocles and Diver. I was like, oh, shit. So, apparently Ariel tweeted out hours earlier that Brock Lesnar was coming back. UFC did this commercial, spent, money, I would imagine a few million, on this commercial that kind of showed it was supposed to be a big surprise. Here's the UFC 200 promo, and at the very end it showed Brock Lesnar. I think he threw a punch and screamed or something like that. Well, Ariel found out about it. How did he find out about it? I don't know. He has sources, I guess. Some people say there's a leak in the UFC. Well, I don't know if there is or not. There could be a leak in the WWE. I would imagine the higher-ups of WWE knew about it. Triple H, Vince, Steph, Paul Heyman, Kane. He's the director of operations. I'm sure he fucking knew about it. But yeah, Brock is coming back. And I forgot who Kevin Elliott was speculating that he would fight. I think maybe Fedor. I think Kevin Elliott was the thought was, and I don't know if this was sourced or not, or if it was just his thought. I think it was supposed to be a Fedor 1, then he's going to, and if it went well, obviously it didn't go well for him because his face looks like shit, he was going to go fight Brock at 200. Clearly that's not going to happen. And they announced the other day that Brock's fighting Mark Hunt. We'll get to that. So Ariel, quote-unquote, leaked it and tweeted it and got a bunch of retweets and pissed off Dana White and all of them because they'd spent money on it, and because they have a leak, because they can't control their people, it's Ariel's fault. Now, Ariel shouldn't sit on a story like this. It's a story. If he has the information, he can report it. He's also doing it at his own, free will. He's got to know that there can be repercussions. He's got to know that this commercial that they did wasn't cheap. I mean, it's just, that's not how they work. I don't know, maybe a couple million is too much. Maybe it was only 100,000. Maybe they just had to pay for Brock to fly out and do the shoot, or maybe they flew to Brock. Who fucking knows? But they spent money on it, and they were trying to make it a surprise. Quite frankly, I enjoyed the aspect that they kept it secret this long, and that we got a big fight, because they never did say that there was a co-main. I assumed they were still working on GSP. I didn't see Brock coming. And I think most people didn't see Brock coming. So Brock is back. And personally, I think it also would have been more fun if they did not say who he was fighting. I think it would have been cool. I mean, it's going to sell pay-per-views because Brock's there. It's going to sell pay-per-views because you got John Jones and Daniel Cormier. It's going to sell pay-per-views because there's 8 gazillion fucking awesome fights. It's just, that's how it is. I think it would have been cool if no one knew who Brock's opponent was. I don't know that they could have pulled it off, but it would have been neat. Ooh, Clay Guida tagged him. But his opponent would be Mark Hunt. And Mark Hunt came out and started talking about how Brock is juiced to the gills. Brock is exempt from the USADA. The way it works is if you retire and you announce you want to come back, you have to go through a 4-month, I guess, pre-drug screening, basically, where the USADA is going to check you out and test you and make sure you're not doing anything. Once you've made it through that 4 months, then you can officially come out of retirement. I don't know if you can't fight before those 4 months are up, or if it's contract signed or what, because I don't understand why they consider in competition 30 days before the fight. I think in competition starts as soon as you fucking sign the contract. Some of these contracts are signed 3 months early. Well, you get popped for something back before it was in competition. That's horseshit. But so I don't understand some of these things that they do. But Brock is exempt from it because he retired so long ago, as would Chael Sonnen be. As would No, I don't know if I think Chael Sonnen would fall into that too. GSP will fall into that if he comes out of retirement. He doesn't have to go through these drug tests like other people do. So we're 4 weeks out from the fight, and Mark Hunt's over there saying he's juicing, and one of the reasons, some people think he's juicing because he's huge. Some people think he's juicing because he's skating this USADA test. Now, I don't look at Brock Lesnar and see steroids. He's got too much natural fat. He doesn't have the cut muscles that you see on some of those. Usually the muscles on a lot of those guys are a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Bubbly? they look different than natural muscles do, and I don't see that with Brock. So I don't know where the accusations are coming from. I think WWE is supposed to have a good, plan for that kind of stuff. I don't know for sure, but I think it is. But yeah, Brock is coming back, and Ariel got in trouble. Then Ariel so what happened is before the Bisping fight, someone came up to him. He did a whole show on it. It was an interesting show. He cried a lot, which, people were giving him shit. I mean, look, you got to figure he's put a lot of his life into this, into what he does. It's not like he's just some, douchebag who started, doing mixed martial arts reporting and now he's mad because UFC's acting like assholes. I mean, he kind of put the MMA quote-unquote journalist, he was kind of the first one. So he's put a lot into this. I'm sure he risked a lot. I'm sure it wasn't cheap for him to go flying around from fight to fight when he was getting everything started and things like that. So I can understand the emotions of it. He's got a family. He thinks everything's going well, and then boom, the rug's kind of ripped out from under him. But again, he should have known that those consequences could happen. He's dealing with, fucking Dana White and the Fertittas. Damn, Guida tagged him again. Guida's looking okay every time I look up at the screen. Maybe I need to go back and really pay attention to this fight. Maybe he's doing well. Oh, it's still the first round. Maybe he's doing well and he just got caught. Guida's 53%, 40%. He's landed 19 to Ortega's 8. That's pretty substantial. I mean, there's 24 seconds left, unless there's a couple takedowns that I haven't seen. Guida's got this round. Anyway, Ariel. Yeah, so it was an interesting listen. And it was interesting to listen to him. I forgot what fight it was where he got roughed up a little bit. I wish he'd have gone into more detail about it. I think Front Row Brian's information was he was choked and pushed up against the wall. All Ariel said was it got physical. I'd like to hear more about exactly what happened. But regardless, I think in a day or two after his show, he got his press credentials back. Oh, yeah, so he got asked to leave. He was sitting there in the press room, and he said someone came up to him and said, hey, Dana wants to talk to you. And he said, well, let's do it after the Bisping fight because it's about to start. And the guy walked away. And then someone else came in and said, hey, Dana wants to talk to you now. And Ariel, he flat out said he was scared. And look, I'm pretty sure there's some mafia aspects to this. But he flat out said he was scared. And he asked, what's his name? Eric, I can't think of his last name, and all elbows, the badass fucking photographer. I can't think of her name either. Damn, all I can think of is their Twitter handles. But he asked, hey, I'm doing a show. You need to be professional. He asked them to come with him. He said, can I bring them? Because he flat out said he was scared. And I guess the guy said sure, so they went with him. And I guess Dana White called him some names and yelled at him and said, you're fucking out of here. I think it was supposedly from Lorenzo. And they took all of their credentials, escorted all of them out of there. I don't know why they had to escort those two out of there, but they got rid of all of them. And I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, everything was back to normal. He got his credentials back, and everything was cool, and I guess he'll be at the fights next week. So, good for Ariel. But, yeah, the one thing that I missed, I don't know how Bisping skated on this. I was talking about the post-fight press conference and how back and forth it was, and Bisping and Rockhold were going out. Well, here's after the press conference when they were leaving. And I don't know how Bisping skated on his terminology here. It's coming.
No. Because it was your moment of fucking attic. You lost it. I'm gonna get you. Getting knocked out again. Yeah, go fuck the leg. Hey, shake my fucking hand, you pussy. Fucking knocked you out twice now. Why?
Oh, I didn't see Dan Henderson.
Oh, shit, should have said that.
Oh, hold on. I thought I talked over the other
people. I
didn't know Dan Henderson was right in the middle of it.
Fucking knocked you out twice now. Why? Oh, shit, should have said that.
So somehow he skated on it. I don't even think he apologized for it. I don't think I saw one apology like, oh shit, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. Now granted,
fucking melted out twice now. Twice. This is fucking oh shit, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I guess it's about the same. I don't know how he pulled that off. If anyone else had said that, it would have been fucking crazy. I don't know how no one got pissed off at it. Somehow I don't know. He's got some magical shit going on. So I don't know who they're going to put in with Cruz. I feel like there was talk of someone dropping weight or moving up a weight. Maybe Cruz. Maybe it was Cruz. I think Cruz was calling out Johnson. Maybe Cruz will drop weight. I don't know, because Cruz wants 2 belts, I think, too. So I don't know what's next for Cruz. Bisping, though, I don't think Rockhold deserves a rematch. Just like I don't think Weidman deserved a rematch. The rematch would sell because they genuinely don't like each other. If Jacare is healthy, I think Bisping's next fight should be Jacare. Jacare's earned. He's just, and I don't think it matters. I think Jacare, and everyone comes up with a reason for it not to be Jacare. Jacare is a mean motherfucker, and I don't get. Hey, stop! I don't understand. I listened to the MMA Beat today when I was driving around through Fayetteville because fucking hell. And they have that guy. I don't know his name, but they have the guy on there. I can see his face. He's kind of chubby. A little bit of a mess, got like messy, curly, like gray hair, white hair, and I know it's him because I recognize his voice. And he made that they were talking about what's next for Bisping, and Henderson came up and he mentioned Jacare, and he said, well, Jacare has that loss a couple fights ago, and then they mentioned Romero. And the same guy said Romero got popped. If Romero can't fight Bisping, and I don't understand how this works anyway, because it's still on Jacare's official record as a loss and Romero's official record as a win. If Romero got popped, he got suspended, and you don't think he's good enough to fight Bisping, why isn't the guy that he lost to when he got popped, who's beaten everybody else he's fought in the UFC, who couldn't get a takedown on Romero because Romero kept grabbing the fucking cage? Why wouldn't Jacare be suitable for a title fight? I didn't understand that, and I really don't understand how the results haven't changed officially. How is it still a loss for Jacare? The guy was popped for pads. It doesn't matter if it was an accident or not. Even if you want to let him have his win, you shouldn't have Jacare have a loss. So I don't know how that's worked or what's going on there, but I think it's Jacare. Now, Weidman just had neck surgery. There's no way he's fighting anytime soon. Bisping's not going to want to wait around because he's old. Henderson has one fight left on his contract, and I think he plans on completely retiring. And the question came, I think he asked it, who do you want to see me fight in my last fight? I tweeted, I'm sure other people did too. You know what, fuck it. If everyone else is out, which it seems like they are, and like I said, I don't think Rockhold deserves one. If Dan Henderson is going to have his very last fight, win or lose, yeah, fucking give him Bisping. If he beats Bisping, let him retire as a champion. You can do a fucking tournament. You can put Bisping, because he was the last champion in it. You can put Jacare. You can put Weidman. You can put Rockhold. And if you want to go beyond 4 people, you want to have another round, I could come up with 4 others, I'm sure. Romero, fucking throw him in the mix. Let me see here. You know what? Fuck it. Let's see. Who else is in the UFC middleweight division? Hold on. I bet Matt Brown would drop down. I wouldn't mind seeing Matt Brown do. I fucking watch Matt Brown do anything, man. He's just fucking fun to me. All right, we got Sam Alvey. Well, I don't know that he's ready for that. Vitor Belfort, no, but they could put him in there for money. So that's a possibility. I don't know. Maybe I can't come up. Oh shit! You know what? Yeah, fucking put in. This is 185. Shit. He won't fight. I bet I was gonna say put in Nick Diaz, but he won't fight on there. CB Dalloway is still on here. How is he still? I thought he got cut. How is he still on here? You could put Anderson Silva in there. Fuck it. Why not? It's Anderson Silva. Chris Levin's still on here too. Nate Moorcourt's still on here. Holy fuck! How do they still have some of these people on their site? Am I just looking at? Oh fuck! Because no, I'm looking at the. Are these all middleweights? Yeah, these are all middleweights. Mark Munoz is still on here. CM Punk. Put CM Punk in the fucking tournament. Why the fuck not? Josh Salmon. Oh, he just lost though. He would have been a good one. Jacare, Brian Stans retired, Brad Tavares. I don't know. Maybe I can't come up with 8. Maybe 8's a bit of a stretch. I'm going through the rest of them because there's only one more thing. All right, maybe it would have to be 4. Maybe you could do 6. You could do like a fight off for a couple of them. But there's things you could do. It would be fun. I'd like to see a one-night tournament. I don't think UFC will ever do that. But UFC might be getting sold. Apparently it's imminent. $4.1 million to a Chinese company. So I don't know what's going to happen after that. Supposedly Dana White is sticking around. The Fertittas are gone. There are rumors that the Fertittas may take the money and buy a football team. I guess we'll see. But it does look like it's going to happen. Oh, let me see here. Hold on. Why do I have who do I have a text message? Oh, is that Bong? Random's texting me. I don't know that I'm getting on, motherfucker. I might want to go watch a movie and go to sleep. But what was I talking about? Oh, UFC getting sold. Yeah, so it's looking more and more possible. It could happen. All right, let's see here. Close this out. I don't need to see that. I just talked about aerial shit. This is tomorrow night. You know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about tomorrow night. Oh wait, hold on. Let me check the show notes. I couldn't print the show notes, so I want to make sure I've done everything else. They did do the early weigh-ins for the fights tomorrow night, which I like. I think the early weigh-ins are great. We can talk about Will Brooks later. I just talked about that. Talked about that. Okay, yeah, let's get to tomorrow, then we'll wrap things up. So tomorrow, it's a pretty, it's a pretty good card. There's some interesting things happening on there. We'll start off with Fight Pass. You got Ali Bagatinov versus Gene Herrera. I'll go Bagatinov. Colby Covington versus Jonathan Munier. I don't know who Jonathan Munier is, so I'll go Covington. Randa Marcos. I didn't even know she was fighting. I didn't see the weigh-ins. Randa Marcos versus Jocelyn Jones-Leibarger. I'll go Randa Marcos. Elias Theodoro versus Sam Alvey. This is actually a pretty fun fight, and I really hope Sam Alvey wins. I'm pulling for Sam Alvey. Chris Beal, we get on the Fox Sports 2. Oh, look at that shit. I told my dad it was 1. He's not going to be happy about that. Chris Beal versus Joe Soto. I know those names, but I don't know who they are, so I'm skipping them. Tamden McCrory versus Christoph Jocko. I like Tamden McCrory. I'm going McCrory. Misha Surkunov, which is a guy, by the way, versus Ion Kudaleba. I don't know who Ion Kudaleba is, so I'll go Misha Surkunov. Jason Sago, Leandro Silva. I'll go Sago. All right, main card. Valerie Letourneau versus JoJo Calderwood. Yeah, this is Joanne Calderwood's first fight since having all that weird shit where she was splitting up with her coach and all that shit going on where she just got her ass beat. I've never fully understood all the hype about her. Maybe I will tomorrow. I don't know. Excuse me. You know what? Shit. Clay Guida's going to get knocked out right at the end of this fight, isn't he? I need to watch this again. I think he might have been winning this one before then. It looks like it was a... Ooh, there it is. Holy shit. Yeah, that fucked him up. Now he's going after Herb Dean. Damn. Wow, okay. Yeah, we're going to see... I'm going to see... He's still going after the guy. Herb Dean's trying to tell him it's over. He's like, what the fuck? He doesn't know how out he was. That was a hell of a knee. I don't know. I'm curious to see what Joanne Calderwood's like. Like I said, maybe we'll find out tomorrow. I'm not sure. But I'll go Joanne Calderwood. I'll buy into the hype and go with it. Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Thibault Gouti. I don't know who Thibault Gouti is, so I'll go Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Steve Bossy, the former hockey player, versus Sean O'Connell. This is actually... I have to watch his weigh-in. Holy shit, I didn't know he was fighting tomorrow. It's an interesting fight for Sean Bossy because he's not super experienced like Sean O'Connell is, but he could win. But I'm going with Sean O'Connell, and I'm pulling for Sean O'Connell. He makes me smile. He's funny. His weigh-ins and shit like that. Oh, he was out like a motherfucker. Is he trying to say that he wasn't out? He was out. Damn. I want to see what happens after he gets it. Yeah, he's still going after him. Herb Dean's like telling him it's over, and he's still going after him, trying to fight him. Yeah, that was a good stoppage. All right, Donald Cerrone moving up to welterweight to fight Patrick Cote. This is interesting to me just to see what Cerrone does at welterweight. He's not sized for Patrick Cote. He came in a pound heavier, but it doesn't matter. So I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm going to go Patrick Cote as much as it pains me, but I got to go with Cote. And then you've got this unknown. Rory McDonald and Stephen Thompson. I don't fucking know what's going to happen here. I'm going to tell you where it can go. Stephen Thompson's a young, dynamic striker, but I don't know, have we seen Stephen Thompson really get pushed to the limit? Because we already know Rory McDonald can fucking hang in a war. Let me see here. He beat Patrick Cote in a decision, and he beat Nashawn Burrell in a decision. And he's had a couple decisions, lost to Matt Brown. But having some decisions doesn't mean you're ready for fucking Rory McDonald, because Rory McDonald has been in some fucking fights. As far as I'm concerned, Rory McDonald needs to watch out for the dynamic striking that Thompson has for a round, maybe two. And even if he gets caught a little bit, Rory McDonald doesn't get put away easily. So even if he gets clipped a couple times, he's still very likely going to be able to withstand it. And if Rory turns this into a war, Stephen Thompson has to not get hit. He has to stay strategic because McDonald will fucking turn this into a brutal fucking war. And if it does, Stephen Thompson isn't gonna win. This makes it more interesting because Rory McDonald is a free agent after this fight. I don't know what kind of contract that they were trying to give him, but he decided not to sign. He's always, he said on Ariel like a couple months ago, he's done a lot of things for the UFC and saved some fight cards and stuff. Well, not fight cards, but fights, and he just doesn't feel that it's been returned. So he wants to test out the free market. Now, if he loses, I'm sure UFC will let him go, and he'll wind up in Bellator. If he wins, it's going to be really interesting because he can negotiate a title fight for his next fight. He could negotiate certain things to be kept. Now, Bellator, the rumor is that Will Brooks, who was released from Bellator, just signed with the UFC to fight. Who's he fighting? He's fighting at 200. He's fighting, shit. Who the hell is he fighting? I don't remember who he's fighting. Damn it, son of a bitch. It's somebody. It's not like a number one, like, fighter in the world type thing. It's kind of a low totem pole guy. Isn't it 200? Hold on, let me just look this up. Hold on, tie out. Will Brooks. Go to Ross Pearson. There you go. And it's the Ultimate Fighter 23 finale. So it's that UFC 200 weekend. So yeah, he's fighting Ross Pearson, and I'm not saying Ross Pearson is going to be an easy fight because Ross Pearson could drag him into a war too. I don't know too much about Will Brooks. I think I've seen him fight once or twice. I feel like Bellator never really liked him. Maybe he's a pain in the ass to deal with. I don't know. But supposedly he went with UFC for 25 and 25, and he turned down 150K. Now, if he turned down 150K from Bellator, that just gives Bellator 150K more to give to Rory McDonald, which might have been strategic. That might be why they were like, yeah, we're going to let him go and we're not even going to match. He might be a pain in the ass, and they might be able to have more money for him, for Rory Mack, because if Rory Mack wins, he could get a lot of money from Bellator. So I don't know what's going to happen with Rory Mack afterwards, with Rory McDonald. If Stephen Thompson loses, and if it does get turned into a 5-round war like we've seen happen, this is going to be a really important fight for him just to learn, just to know what he can and can't do. And I believe this is Rory McDonald's first fight since he could barely, I don't think he could sit up. Right? He couldn't even sit up. He's that gif of him sitting up. I think John McCarthy and the doctor were there putting the towel on his nose, and he just fell backwards. I mean, I don't know how he's recovered from that. I mean, there's a lot of interesting what ifs that with this fight tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens. I'm not picking that one. I just don't know what's going to happen. All right, close that out. Let me see here. Close that out. I should look at and see if there's any big news that have happened or that has happened. Announced fights coming up. That's right. They announced a lot of fights last weekend. So Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor will headline UFC 202. You've got, I don't know if I talked about it before or not, and it's not on my notes, but I know it's coming up. You got Stipe's going to defend his title against Alistair in Cleveland. I don't remember when that's coming up. UFC 200, the co-main, Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. An interesting side note, Brock is coming in as a Canadian, because apparently he's a Canadian citizen now, and I think that has something to do with like hunting laws or something. I didn't read about it, but I think that's what it is. Emil Meek, the guy who beat the shit out of Paul Harris, has been pulled into UFC to fight on their Hamburg card, so good for him. Rose Namajunas versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I've had a hard time with her name. That's at UFC 201. Paul Felder and Francisco Trinaldo in Brazil. Anthony Pettis will make his 145 debut against Charles Oliveira at UFC on Fox 21. And I saw this was just announced. Cub Swanson is going to fight Tetsuya Kawajiri. Kawajiri. Let me see here. Is there any, first of all, let me look at MMA Fighting's Facebook real quick. Let me make sure that there's nothing crazy going on. Is Fedor still the top one? Fedor won't call it quits after his latest win. Do you think he will end up in the UFC or Bellator? Following controversial victory, Fedor says he will fight. We will fight on. He'd do better in Bellator. I don't know if I talked about it. I tweeted it though. It would be more competitive in Bellator. There's not going to be anything competitive in the UFC. There's just not. He's going to get his ass beat by a lot of people. And sure, anything can happen, but he's going to get his ass beat by a lot of different people that can do it. Alexander Gustafsson to fight Jan Blachowicz. That's also at the Hamburg card. Michael Bisping calls Dan Henderson a cheat and an old piece of shit. So they're already selling the pay-per-views. Jorge Masvidal. Short notice replacement. Jorge Masvidal is going to fight Sair Barduza after Claudio Silva's gone. All right, I like Jorge Masvidal. I'm just kind of going through some shit right now. I already talked about that one. Oh, Nevada's going to think about the early weigh-in stuff. I think that's an easy decision. I don't know what you need to think about. I still wish they would stop weight cutting altogether, but that's just me. UFC might be getting close to sold after all. Fedor's in great shape. Yeah, so I'm going to call it a day on that one. Now, tonight, Bellator World Series of Fighting. They start in like 20 minutes. Is there anything that I know from any of these guys? Bellator. Chad Njokuani versus, I don't know that guy, but that's a welterweight fight. Marcos Galvo and Eduardo Dantas is fighting in a title fight. Don't know them, might turn it on anyway. Don't know what I'm going to do, because maybe I'll play some PlayStation. I don't know. World Series of Fighting, John Howard. I saw a thing on John Howard where he's just been diagnosed as autistic. I think that's an interesting one. I haven't been officially diagnosed, but I have been told by a psychologist, child psychologist, that I am on the spectrum. So it's an interesting thing when you figure that out, because I started not caring about certain things. Like, I've always been a little bit weird, but once I understood, oh, well, shit, if I'm on the spectrum, this makes sense, and this makes sense, and this makes sense, and it gets better. Luis Palomona, Jason High, Mike Ricci's fighting tonight, Jason High versus Mike Ricci, and in a heavyweight championship, Blagov Ivanov versus Josh Copeland. And, of course, you'll get to hear Chael do commentary. That's always a good thing. Last thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about Game of Thrones, but I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones without everybody, because I need... they help me remember this shit. Money in the Bank 2016. Let me look this shit up real quick. They shuffled the card, and they announced 2 new kickoff matches. Alright, let's open up that and this, and let's see what they both say. This says, they got a lot of fucking fights on this card. Holy shit. Alright, so, kickoff matches. I'm guessing at 7. Maybe they might go early, because this is a pretty good, good card. Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys. I don't really understand that one. Maybe something happened on SmackDown. I haven't even finished Raw, so maybe something happened there, but I don't get that one. Golden Truth, who I fucking love, versus Breezango. They better not fuck up the Golden Truth. Now, the main card, Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. And that should be Apollo Crews. They should be putting him over. Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Probably Baron Corbin, which sucks because I don't like that fucking guy. Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. It should be Natalya and Becky Lynch, and Natalya should be the fucking champion. Rusev versus Titus O'Neil. Rusev is going to win that. They're not going to give Titus O'Neil anything after being suspended. Okay, I'm going to come... Oh, no, you know what? I guess I'm not going to come back to it. New Day. This is the Tag Team Championship. New Day versus Anderson and Gallows, who I fucking hate, and they make me want to grow my hair and shave my beard. They annoy the shit out of me. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus the Vaudevillains. I don't like them either, although they do remind me of Kenny Florian and Uncle Creepy, and I need to Photoshop that. Yeah, here's where this is going. Where it should go, because I fucking know this business. New Day should win, and they should start feuding with Enzo and Big Cass. Okay? They can go through the next 3 pay-per-views, have New Day lose the next pay-per-view, drop the championships, or if they wanted to go a full year, they could drag it out and just have them lose by disqualification at the next pay-per-view, but they were about to get pinned, some bullshit like that. But they could have 3 months of back and forth, shit talking with New Day and Enzo and Cass. That would be some good 3 months of shit talking. So that's what I hope is going to happen there. Cena versus Styles. I'm imagining that Styles is going to win. Gallows and Anderson are banned. I don't really like AJ Styles. I like Cena a lot more, but I just figure AJ Styles is going to win. Money in the Bank match, which I think will probably kick off the pay-per-view. That's what it did last year. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro versus Jericho versus Ambrose versus Owens versus Del Rio. Okay, anything can happen in this shit. Okay, that's just kind of how it works. I would imagine Dean Ambrose is going to win, and he's going to cash in later that night. Or Cesaro will win, but I doubt it. Or Sami Zayn will win, but I doubt it. I don't see Jericho winning. I don't see Owens winning. I don't see Del Rio winning. But holy fuck, is it going to be a fun one. So yeah, I'm going Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, or Cesaro. Probably Dean Ambrose. Then you got the main event, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. If they do this clean, like they shouldn't do bullshit story. They should have just a clean match. I think Rollins should win. They have to do something, and they have to... Roman Reigns isn't getting over. They got to stop trying to force everyone with Roman Reigns. Just turn Roman Reigns bad. That would go a long way. Everyone already hates him anyway. And the thing of it is, you got Rollins, who's trying to be the bad guy, and everyone loves Rollins. He's a great fucking champion. That's why. He's great. So... I don't know where they're going to go. Have Roman Reigns cheat. I'm okay with that. Make Roman Reigns cheat to win. I don't know what they're going to do. I still think Ambrose is going to be involved somehow. I just don't know how. So, alright, that, I believe, is where I'm going to end things. Is there anything I'm missing? You know, I forgot this is on here. George Zimmerman sold the gun he used to kill Trayvon Martin. What the fuck, man? That's a fucked up thing to do. It's a fucked up thing to buy. I'm guessing it's sitting in some KKK's like fucking trophy house or trophy shelf or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I don't. He's fucking. He just gets worse and worse, man. Yeah, I don't want to do Game of Thrones. All right, yeah, I'm done. Everyone have a good fucking weekend. Enjoy the fights tonight. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. Enjoy the fights on Sunday. I will be back, not with Monocles. Monocles is gone until July. I will be back either with Diver or MMA Podcast and I were talking about. I think we've talked in the past, and I just think everybody hates me. But we were tweeting a little bit or DMing a little bit earlier, and I may try to see if he wants to do a show that Friday. We'll probably have another guy from Lion Fight because I think Scott Zerr was talking about doing one on both of them. So we'll see. I don't know. Hell, after the interview with me, Mr. Kemp be like, don't let anyone else go on that fucking guy's show because he's a fucking mess. But yeah, maybe I can get MMA Podcast on here and we can shoot the shit. Other than that, holy shit, this is an hour and 40-minute show. Damn. I went crazy today, motherfuckers. Other than that, I don't have much to say. It's over. Did you say over? Yes.
Nothing is over until we decide.
Back up, I fucked up. Yes, over. I said over. No, okay. Oh, no. Have a great fucking week. I'm gonna go eat the Hooters that I bought earlier today when I was out in Fayetteville. I actually completely forgot I had Hooters, and now I'm like, oh shit, I have Hooters. I don't know what fucking song. You know what? I think I can do the Ben Folds song because that's not under any copyright shit. I think the last show I did, which was a pretty good show, got fucking popped for copyright shit. I guess one of the songs I played. So I think I'm gonna stick with Slip and maybe Bitches Ain't Shit at the end. I don't know. I gotta find another song to do at the end. I don't know what to do. I like having a song to end it. I guess I don't have to. I guess I could just close the door and call it a day. I don't know. I don't know what to do. You know what? I am gonna do that this time. Fuck it. I'm not going to play a song out. Maybe that'll help me figure out what the hell is getting fucked up anyway. Yeah, okay. Let me open up. Where's my door? Where's my door? Where's sounds? Here we go. Sounds. Boom. All right, everybody. Have a good fucking couple weeks. And don't get too fucking hot. And let's hope the stupid shit that everyone's been doing lately stops. See ya! What the fuck was that? That wasn't... What the hell is it opening? Oh, this fucking Windows. Did you change my shit again? Windows is horse shit. Holy fuck, it changed my shit. Okay. Let's try this again. See ya!